me? That is the question for today. For this month of August in the Visionary Parent Academy, it's all about nurturing deep-rooted identity in our children. And today we are looking at the popular, the nice to say words we always use. Know the house you are coming from. Know the child of who you are. So that is the conversation for today. Apologies that we are just starting. You know that our class is usually for 12 noon. However, I have been battling network since 12. I wasn't going to make it at 12 noon, so I sent a message to the visionary parents and told them, okay, let's do it 12:30. But I've been battling network. I was already considering pre-recording before network came, and thank God we are here. Who is your child becoming? Know the child of who you are. As you are going, know the home you are coming from. Is something we had growing up. Is something parents still tell their children every single day. In fact, the other day in the Visionary Parent Academy, because this month is all about nurturing deep-rooted identity in our children. So every single day we have a task. We have something we are going to do with our children or with ourselves to actually nurture the theme of the month. So the other day, and I said to them in the Visionary Parent Academy, today what we are going to do is have a phrase that we always use to put our children back into shape, to always use to nurture their identity. So whenever they are leaving the house or whenever they are faced with events or anything, we just use that phrase to remind them who they are. So such phrases such as, know the home you are coming from, know the child of who you are. And in my family, we always say we are the rebels. We are the rebels. So we are big on that, and every visionary parent knows already that is what we use in my home. So however, like I shared in the visionary parent, it is not just about telling your child, oh, you are the rebels, or know the child of who you are, or know the home you are coming from. Your child actually has to be able to, there has to be an evidence that, know the child of who you are. Who are you as a parent? Who you are that you want your child to remember. There has to be evidence. It has to be evidence in your home. Know the home you are coming from. The home your child is coming from has to be evidence enough for your child to remember. It's not just a nice to say words. Actually remember, okay, this is the home I am coming from. That is it. This is brought to you by the Visionary Parent Academy, and this month is all about nurturing deep-rooted identity in our children. Nurturing so much that said, hi, thank you for joining today. Please copy the link and share. Invite everyone, because this is a conversation that we must have as parents. Just yesterday or so, I saw a video on social media. A lecturer was, I think, according to the caption, a Unizik lecturer was being beaten. He was firstly stripped naked. Naked. When I say naked, no pants on. He was completely naked. He was being beaten and forced into what we call keke, because according to the caption and the story around, he was demanding sexual favor from a female student. It was so that I got to read the details that I think the female student led him on, and as they were about to start, she grabbed her clothes, because he had completely taken off his clothes from head to toe, like, so she grabbed her clothes and she ran out of the door. And the man, now he didn't know what to do. He wore his robe. He's got a doctorate degree. Make it make sense. Really? So he wore his robe, you know, the robe doctors wear. He wore that and he came out. Maybe he ran after the girl to retrieve his items, and that was how other students saw him. They pounced on him, and he ended up on social media. When we are talking about, you know, when I was talking about it, rather when I first saw it, my mind just went to, oh my God, his poor parents. Because that man, the lecturer, definitely will have a wife, he will have children, he will have neighbors. I was telling my children, imagine a lecturer standing in the presence of how many students he would have taught students over the years. And now his nudes on social media flying because of what he was about to do. And I was telling them in the Visionary Parent Academy, imagine his mom, maybe only a week ago, had told somebody, do you know who my son is? My son is a lecturer at Unizik. And somebody may have even gone to meet the mom and said to the mom, oh, please, my daughter wants to get admission into Unizik. Can I heard that your son is a lecturer there. And can you please help us make it a smooth process? The mom would have been raising shoulder, like what we call bugaing. She would have bugad over the period of time. But unfortunately, the question today is, who is your child becoming? Who are you raising? Who is your child becoming? This month, we are nurturing deep-rooted identity in our children, because we know for a fact that people just don't wake up and become who they become. Who they become happens over time. It begins to happen from one day to the next, one day to the next. From when they are small, we are planting seeds in them. The seeds we are planting in them is shaping their identity. At the end of the day, who they become is as a result of the seeds we have constantly planted in them. Over time, we have nurtured in them. That is what we are looking at today. Who is your child becoming? And today's focus is on 7 pathways to nurture deep-rooted identity in your children. 7 pathways to help your child become who they should become. Because we were supposed to have our class last week. I apologize for that. We didn't hold our class. But the previous week, we started this conversation. And we're looking at things that come together to shape our children. So who is your child becoming? Every single day, your child is being shaped by the events around, by how you are raising them. Not just you as a parent, every single thing around is coming together to shape who your child is becoming. This is why in this century, in this time and age we cannot afford not to be intentional. You cannot afford to wing parenting. You must know exactly, you must have a vision. You must know exactly what you want, and you must be intentional towards what you want. Now, this is one of the things we do in the Visionary Parents Academy, because this class is actually brought to you by the Visionary Parents Academy. Every Tuesday, 12 noon, we are here. We always have a theme for the month. So we break that theme down into 4 or 5 topics, and every Tuesday, we come here to teach it. Then every single day in the Visionary Parents Academy, we have meetings. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to Saturday, Mondays to Mondays, we have meetings where we learn. We break down every single topic. We challenge ourselves in our private homes every single day, because we just don't want to learn. We don't want to have head knowledge. We actually want to be able to practice, to put these things into practice, so that our parenting will reflect it. I always say, yes, people say, oh, our parents didn't have to do so much and we turned out well. We just don't want to raise children who turn out well. We want to raise children, and I always say, what does it mean to turn out well? I'm sure a week ago or a month ago, this lecturer was somewhere saying, oh, our parents did XYZ and we turned out well. I'm sure the parents of this lecturer were somewhere just a week ago saying, oh, we have to do all this modern day parenting, all this so-called intentional parenting, all this gentle parenting. I beg, leave all of them. We didn't have to do all these things. Our children turned out well. I am sure just a couple of days ago, they were saying this same thing. Lock one, lock the gate with padlock. They were saying this same thing. And just like a week later, it is a different ball game. One of the things we call turn out well in this part of the world is, when we start working, we can earn money, we have a nice paying job, just like the lecturer. We think we turn out well. When we are married, when we have nice cars, when we have good houses, when we have kids, we think, we have turned out well. Because we can make money, we have cars, we have kids, we think, we turn out well. Really, there is more to it. There is more to it. When we talk about turn out well, we are talking about raising whole children. Let's leave that for now. So today is all about knowing the child, telling your child, know the home you are from, know the parents you have, knowing who you are. And like I said, it's not just a fancy, a nice to say phrase or sentence. We actually want to nurture our children, that they are constantly guided by who they are. Now, when we talk about family identity, we are giving our children, we are not just giving our children something to say at home. We are giving them something to draw from when they leave home. This is where I want us to get it right. We will talk about, because here is it. There is something I've shared in the Visionary Parents Academy over and over again. One of the things I tell my teenagers in church and my teenagers at home, all the teenagers I coach and mentor, I always tell them that, see, it is one thing to say, oh, I'm a good person. It is another thing to actually be a good person. You don't say you are a good person when life has not tested your goodness. It is when life tests your goodness that you say, yes, you did not fall, you did not fail, that you can come and say, I am a good person. So let's bring it to parenting. When we are talking about nurturing deep-rooted identity in our children, we are actually looking at life events. Because life will happen. If there was nothing like life event, if life was not happening, then we will not bother. But when we talk about our identity, who our children are or who your child is going to show when life shows up, when events happen, when things happen. And a practical example would be this lecturer. It would be easy for him to say, oh, I am faithful, I am not I don't do women. But guess what? Life threw him right in the den of women. Of course, you know campuses, how girls are everywhere, how girls sometimes they dress half clothed, they wear scanty clothes, and they parade all over the place. That is what we are talking about. So who you are as a child, who your child is going to be tested by events. It is going to be tested by events. We come online every day, we see abuse. I was reading about, is it Davis Martins, the celebrity photographer? I was reading about him recently, about him and his involvement with domestic violence. And I was telling myself, this is a big boy, someone a big boy. This is someone who photographs, is that the right word? Celebrities. I think he was one that captured Prudence Gabriel, or the fashion designer. He was the one that also captured what's this other celebrity's name? Priscilla Ojo, and the husband. He has done a lot of events. Celebrity profile photographer. Today, he's being dragged for domestic violence. I am talking about nurturing deep-rooted identity in our children. It's not just about, it's not just about now. It is about when life tests them, when events happen, when situations happen, how they are going to respond. They are going to respond from who they are. That is a simple thing. We always respond from who we are. And they are also going to respond from who they are. So today we are intentionally looking at our children and asking ourselves, how do we want them to respond when life happens? We want to nurture their identity so that who they are will always be who they are. No matter what life throws, who they are will remain. Your identity is who you are when nobody is watching. Your identity is who you are that reflects in the things you do. That is who you are. So we are looking at nurturing deep-rooted ones in our children, that no matter how life shows up, no matter the event of life, they are who they are. Let's look at it. I had to come up with a lot of life scenarios for us to reflect. I was telling myself that someone will say, oh, today I'm sounding like a motivational speaker. No, I do not intend to sound like a motivational speaker, but I just want us to get the truth, to get this fact, because there is something we always quick to believe, that when our children get to a certain age, they'll believe in a certain way. It is not always so. Go research. Look at people around you. There is always something. There is always a reason. There is always a seed planted when the child was probably very small, when they did not even know better. And the environment start watering the seed. And when the time is right, when they are tested, when they are stretched, they fall. And we are wondering, how did they get here? So what are you doing? When you ask your child, know the child of who you are, what do you mean? You are the parent. Know the child of who you are. Who are you? That's the question. Who are you? Know the child of who you are. Who are you as a parent? If you are with me, please put in the comment section who you are. Know the child of who you are. Who are you? Who are you that your child should know? When we talk about things like this, I remember back then when I still was teaching in a school in Lagos.
What will you celebrate at the
The boy said to me that my daddy always tells us that don't go and don't, I'm not like all these rich people that don't beat their children. Me, I will beat you. That is what I will do. If you misbehave, I will beat you. I'll beat you back into shape. I'm not like all these rich children. You know, in the Visionary Parent Academy, you know that I always talk about the conversations we are having. The conversations we have with our children every single day. So for that father now, he is actually trying to tell the child that I will beat you. Don't even think I will not beat you, no matter what other people say. But he's already telling the child that I am a poor parent. So when the child now goes out, what is the child going to have in mind? I am a poor parent. I know another person, a friend of mine, the father will always tell him that when you go out, please know the home you are from. You know, don't go and follow those rich people to start doing competition. Or know the home you are from. What was the father doing? Telling the boy that he was poor. He had no business being amongst the rich. He had no business mingling with the rich. Know where you are, set your boundaries and stay where you are. Identity. And when these people grow up and they start having, they are not able to break maybe a certain yoke, they are not able to grow past a certain stage, you are wondering, how did they get there? Why can't they move? Why can't they be like? What you do not realize is that your conversations long ago shaped their identity. And of course, your identity is your destiny. Was it not this morning, I was sharing a voice note in the Visionary Parent Academy. I saw, I think, one of Nigeria's celebrity fashion designer. I saw the clothes she made for another celebrity wedding. I think Prudence Gabriel made this particular cloth for Jarvis and Pella's wedding. When I saw the cloth, I said to myself, this is not an excellent job. Any roadside could have actually come up with this good design, good fabric, fantastic idea, but the execution was actually not something you would call a dress made by such a high brand. And I was actually asking myself, when I saw it, I was asking myself, because I think I've seen some of all these top Nigerian designers, I've seen some of their clothes before, their zip will be bulging at the back, and I would tell myself that some of these tailors we see every now and then, they can make clothes and their zips don't bulge. So today I sat down and I was telling myself one thing. I said, see, it is not as if these people are super talented. It is not as if that they are so talented. That is what is opening doors for them. No, they have the skills that others don't have. They know what others don't have. And very many of them, they came from humble beginnings. But guess what happened? There was something that probably was different, something that shaped their identity. So they had the courage to fight. They had the courage to go where others whose parents have told, remember, you are from a poor background, though. Remember, when you get to school, mind your association. Don't go and be rolling with the high and mighty, no, high mighty, because you are not like them. They know those things. All those people don't know. It is why they probably are making as much success as they are making today. So who are you raising? Let's go. When you tell your child, know the child of who you are, what do you actually mean? It simply means that you are someone. You are someone that have lived. You have lived a mark. You have modeled. You have taught. You have created a family structure that reinforces the certain image of your child, the identity you are nurturing in your child. You have created an environment. You have modeled. You have created a structure that teaches, reinforces, and models the image, the identity of your child. It simply means that you, as a parent, you have taught your child, because know the child of who you are simply means that you are going outside. When you get outside, you are going to face life as it is. So what happens? Whose child are you? Which family are you from? We are from the family that, let's say, for example, you are going to face temptation, like the lecturer. You are going to face temptation. So who are you? The question now is, who is your child when your child faces temptation tomorrow? Your child is going to go to the university. Your child is going to get employed, or they are going to run businesses or anything. Who is your child when they face temptation? Let's say your child is a man. Fantastic. When your child faces those girls dressing half naked, parading themselves in absolute nudity, who is your child? That is the question. Your child is going to be in an office, and someone will want to bribe their way to get to the top, or bribe their way around your child. Who is your child when that happens? That is the question. So you are saying, know the home you are coming from. You have the mind. You know that you have the mindset that your child is going to respond to life in certain ways. I ask, temptation. When your child faces temptation tomorrow, how are they going to respond? The home you are coming from. In your home, how do you respond to temptation? What have you taught your child about responding to temptations? How many scenarios have you taught your child? You are going to the university now. You are going to meet peer pressure. You are going to the university now, or in life at some point, you are going to be in position of authority. You are going to be, people are going to come with bribes. There are times you are going to be broke. You will not have a lot of money to meet your needs. And then at that same time, somebody is coming to come with bribe, to bribe you. So you are now left with meeting your needs with the bribe money, ignoring the bribe, saying no to the bribe money, and not meeting your needs. Who is your child? So you as an adult, who is your child becoming? So you as an adult, how are you nurturing the identity that will help your child stand firmly rooted in the face of temptation? How are you? Someone once said to me one time that, oh, it's not possible for a male lecturer not to be promiscuous because there are so many fine girls. You know, fine girls on campus. There are so many fine girls. Funny enough, this was coming from a woman. So again, the question is, who is your child becoming when they face temptation? What identity do they have to actually be able to surmount that temptation? Your child is going to face temptation. Your child is going to face peer pressure. When peer pressures your child, who are they? Who is your child? It is who your child is that will help them say no, because who we are is who we are in the face of events. The other day, my children were having like is it a mock debate? They were talking about first impression matters. First impression is the final impression. So the other one was talking about, no, first impression can actually be as a result of anything. The second one was saying first impression is the final impression. And so at the end of the day, they were just arguing amongst themselves. At the end of the day, I was telling them, not just myself, that see, yes, I get the fact that we say, oh, first impression is not the final impression, because a lot of things can actually pressure someone into behaving out of character. So I told them that, see, you see, that pressure brings out who you really are. That pressure brings out who that person really is. Opportunities bring out who you are. Disappointments bring out who you are. So your child is going to be pressured. Who they are is going to show. So when your child is pressured, who are they? Opportunities will come. Who is your child in the face of opportunity? Who is your child? Is it someone that identifies opportunities? Is it someone that second guesses opportunity? Is it someone that does not even believe in themselves or in their abilities? Is it someone that comes up with all the excuses? It is who they are. Very many times, we have people giving excuses. Every time we give excuses for why we cannot do certain things. I always say the truth of the matter is, those excuses, as valid as they may seem, they are not the real problem. Oh. They are not the real culprits. Nah. The problem is just who we are. So those excuses are just things that we actually put up to make us feel good. Failure. Who is your child when things are not going their way? Who is your child when things are not going their way? We are still talking about nurturing identity. So you as a parent, you are telling your child, know the child of who you are. Know the home you are coming from. Your child is going to face failure tomorrow. Who are you? You want your child to know the home they are coming from. In your home, what does failure mean? Because when we tell our children, know the home you are coming from, we don't consider all these things. So when you tell your child, know the home you are coming from, and you know that your child is going somewhere, your child will experience failure, your child will experience disappointment. It simply means that the home you are coming from, when we experience failure and disappointment, this is what you do. So when your child goes out and experiences failure and disappointment, they will remember the home they are coming from. They will remember the child of who they are. Because that is your identity as a family. When we face failure, when we face disappointment, this is exactly what we do. So when you are telling your child, know the child of who you are, it simply means that you are going out there, you are going to get peer pressured. In our family, this is how we deal with peer pressure. You are going out there, you are going to be tempted. In our family, this is how we deal with temptation. You are going out there, you are going to experience what's the other one? Opportunities. You are going to have opportunities. In our family, we are smart, we are discerning, we are quickly able to discern. Let me give you a true life story. So there was this parent that has always reached out to me, and this parent is someone that she is very how do I call it? She thinks she's smart when she comes to money. So she's quick to, just want to do some things. I don't want to call it scam people. She always has a valid excuse. And I know her from a close distance. She's always had a valid excuse for all the kind of money smart moves she makes. She thinks she's money smart, all those kind of small ways of cheating people and all of that. She really thinks she's money smart. I remember that several times I've told her that your children are watching and they feel, because of that she has made several mistakes, financial mistakes. So one time she was telling me how her daughter also was duped. Now, guess what? Because of the way when she sees money, she's just jittery. She's all over money. Her daughter has learned that from her. That when she saw money, she wasn't able to discern. She didn't wear her thinking cap to think. The same way her mother was jittering about money, she went into it. And at the end of the day, she was the one that was scammed. So who are you? If you tell your child, know the home you are coming from. Which home? Because your child is going to face series of situations outside. That is what we are looking at. When it comes to money, they are going to face money setback, money opportunities, money temptations. So who are you with money as a family? Who are you with money as a parent? Your child is going to be tempted in life. Who are you as a parent under temptation? Who are you as a parent when you are going through temptation? Your child is going to be peer influenced. Who are you as a parent when you are going through peer pressure or when something is pressuring you? Who are you? Your child is going to have opportunities. Who are you as a parent? Are you the one that every opportunity you say no to, you have an excuse? Every opportunity is evil, is devilish or something? Or are you the one that every opportunity you don't sit to pause, you don't discern, you just jump into it? Or you are the one who actually sit down and thinks it through? Your child is going to learn from you how you respond to opportunity. So when you tell your child know the home you are coming from, remember your child is going to face real life pressure, failure, opportunities, and all of that. Success. Who are you when success comes? Tell your child, know the child of who you are, know the home you are coming from. So I'm asking you, when success comes your way, who are you? Who are you? You want your child to know, because what you have told your child, know who you are. So when your child gets out there, success comes their way. Who is your child? You have told them to know the home they are coming from. How does the home interpret success? I remember I had a coursemate back in university. One day we were gisting, wasn't like, if I hammer, why not go carry woman? I go carry woman. If I hammer, what? I go carry woman. So again, the question is, Success. How do you interpret success? Remember, the question is, who are you? Because you have told your child that know the home you are coming from. You have told your child that know the parents you have, or rather know the child of whom you are. So the question is who you are, because these are the things your child is going to face outside. Conflict. This is a very big one. Who is there? This is a very big one. We see this happen every single time. We come on social media every time. We are seeing domestic violence. I just mentioned Martin Davis, a celebrity photographer. We see domestic violence every single day. Our children are going to conflict in the future. They are going to have people who will, they are going to conflict. They are going to have issues with people. So you tell your child, know the home you are coming from. As a parent, how do you resolve conflicts at home? How? Because your child is going to face the world. They are going to conflict with people. Know the home you are coming from is telling your child that when you get outside, how are you going to resolve conflicts? In your marriage, how do you resolve conflicts? Lock the gates. In your parenting, how do you resolve conflicts? With your neighbors, how do you resolve conflicts? With your colleagues, how do you resolve conflicts? With your siblings, how do you resolve conflicts? You are telling your children, know the child of whom you are. Know the home you are coming from. Your child is going to face all these things tomorrow. Conflict also is going to test who your child is. So if you are telling me know the home you are coming from, know the child of whom you are, it simply means that you are telling your child that when you face conflict, know how I resolve conflict and resolve conflict like this. When you get married tomorrow, remember the son of who you are. I am the daughter, I am the son of the man who used to resolve conflict with punch. That is who I am. Your child is going to learn because you have told them know the child of who they are. Money. I think I've talked about money in passive. Money. We can't take away money from life. We can't take away money from us. We can't take away money. We can't talk about anything without talking about money. How do you know the child of who you are? Who are you when money is involved? Who are you when money is involved? You are telling your child to know the son or know the daughter of who you are, or know the child of who you are. Your child is going to face money tomorrow, money temptation. Your child is going to make a lot of money. What happens when they make a lot of money? Drunk? Yes. Arrogant when they make a lot of money? Know the child of who you are. Oh, me as a child, when my parents have money, this is what they do. So as a child of my parents, when I have money, I am going to do the same thing. Know the child of who you are. So how do you respond to money when you have money? How do you respond to money when you do not have money? Know the child of who you are. Okay, when there is money, this is the child of who I am. Respond to money like this. So when I have money or when I don't have money, I want to respond the way the child of who I am is responding, because that is how they respond when they don't have money. The other time my husband and I were having a conversation. So he was talking about, I don't remember the particular topic, but it was about a woman leaving her husband, how women leave husbands and all of that. And I was telling him something that, see, very many times what we do not realize is when we talk about when a woman leaves her husband, the world is quick to say, oh, because especially when the man loses the job, that was the whole thing. A man had lost the job and the woman leaves the man. So I was telling my husband that we are quick to say when a man loses his job, the wife leaves him. We are quick to believe that, take that and run with. I told him, I said, it is not always the picture. Every life, every phase has skills, every phase reveals something in you as a human being. I said, what if we begin to look at it like, okay, when a man loses his job, for example, we know that in this part of the world, we have tied masculinity to money. A man is a man because he's able to provide. So when a man is not able to provide, he feels less of a man. So let's say when the man was working and he had money, he was able to cover the woman. He was able to play his manly role in the relationship. But as soon as he lost his job and had no money, he started seeing himself as less of a man, and he was not able to play his manly role. So because of that, the woman felt pressured and had to leave. We will not see the other things. We'll just see, oh, the man lost his job, the woman left. What if money was not why the woman left? The woman left because of how the man saw money, what the man became after losing his job. What if the woman left, or the man leaves because of what the man becomes after losing the job? Not necessarily because of losing the job. Money. How do you know the child of who you are? When it comes to money, who are you? Because your child is going to be the child of you. So when it comes to money, who are you? Power. Oh my God. When it comes to power, who are you? As a parent, when it comes to power, who are you? Know the son of who you are. Know the daughter of who you are. Know the child of who you are. When it comes to power, who are you? We keep talking about conflict, domestic violence, violence against children. When it comes to power, who are you? Because your child will attain power, and who they are will be tested in the event of power. So you say, know the child of who you are. Who are you when it comes to power as a parent? What do you do with your power? Do you bully? Do you victimize, intimidate? Do you take advantage of power? Or do you not just, even with your power, you are not able to be powerful? Who are you when it comes to power? What do you do with your power? Your children, your spouse, people around you, your domestic staff. What do you do with your power? Who are you when it comes to power? Remember, not a child of who you are. Then who are you when it comes to power? And lastly, choice. When it comes to making choices, who are you? Not the child of who you are. Who are you when it comes to making choices? Again, my name is Enime Orebo, and this is brought to you by the Visionary Parents Academy. This one is about nurturing deep-rooted identity in our children. Next week, we are continuing the conversation, and we are probably going to, we are not wrapping it up next week because today is just on the 18th. So next week, we are going to look at birth order. We are going to look at factors that shape our children's identity, and we are going to be looking at birth order and identity. So if you have a child, you are always wondering, why is my second son so stubborn? Why is my second son so this? Next week, come prepared with your writing materials, because we are going to dig into birth order. That was what we're supposed to do today, but for a period of many days now, because last week I didn't come, and I wasn't here last week rather, I've been seeing a lot of things online, and I just felt we need to have these conversations. We need to help parents realize that knowing the child of who you are, it's not just an empty word to say. It's not just something that is nice. There is actually substance to it. And your children will actually represent you well, like we say. That is why we're having this conversation. So next week, please come prepared and invite someone, invite your friends, invite everybody around. Let them know that we have a parenting platform here that is very empowering. Now we are going to be looking at birth order and identity. How birth order shapes your child. How birth order shaped you. First child, middle child, last child. We are going to be looking at all of that. So get prepared and come. So far we have been talking about knowing who your child, telling the common thing we tell our children: know the home you are coming from, know the child of whom you are. And we are saying that who our children are will be tested by the events of life. So when we tell them know the child of who you are, we're actually telling them that how to when life tests them, we are teaching them how to revert back to who we have nurtured, who we are as a family, who we are. So the question is for you to sit down and think it through. Well, because your child is going to be tempted. So when you are tempted, who are you as a parent? When you go through peer pressure, who are you as a parent? When the opportunities arise, who are you? When failure knocks, who are you? When you have success, who are you? When there is conflict, who are you? When there is money, who are you? When there is power, who are you? When you have to make choices, how do you make your choices? Do you make your choices based on, oh, what is convenient for you? There's something I always tell my children, that you don't do things because everyone is doing it. You don't do things because it's an easy thing for you to do. You don't do things because it's fancy. You don't do things because it's convenient, or I don't remember the other things, but you do things because it is the right thing to do. And when we talk about the right thing, we have a definition of what is right. What is right not necessarily mean it is all about you. It simply means that what is right is what will serve you and serve the people around you. Because, hey, you are called to be the salt of the earth. You are called to be the light of the world. So what is right is what we actually reflect, what we actually, what is right is what will now, what the end product will be, you salting the earth and you lighting up the world. That is what is right. So when it comes to making choices as a parent, because your child will go forward tomorrow and they will also be required to make choices. When you tell them not a child of who you are telling them that me, when it comes to choices, this is how I make choices. Your child is learning from you because they're actually the child of who you are. So we are moving on to the major topic for today, and hopefully we can wrap this up in another 10-15 minutes. 7 identity building pathways. We are talking about nurturing deep-rooted identity in our children. We have looked at knowing the child of who you are, and I've asked you questions. Go back and sit down, reflect on these things. You should tell your child, know the child of who you are, know the home you are coming from. Then you want to sit down, look at events your child is going to face. How have you prepared them? How are you preparing them to face the events? That is how they will know the child of who they are. Number 1, okay, as I'm talking about this, I just have a story in my head. Imagine someone who smokes packs and packs of cigarettes a day, and then your child is going to school and telling your child, not the child of whom you are. It simply means that go to school and smoke packs and packs of cigarettes. That is who I am. So when you go to school, do what to represent me. Represent me well. That is who I am. So that is how you represent me. Okay, let's go. 7 identity building pathways. Number 1, define what your family. Okay, number 1, sorry. Give your family story. Your family story. Every family has a story. In the Visionary Parent Academy the other day, we talked about going to our archive, bringing out pictures, bringing out awards, bringing out a lot of things, and the life, our stories. We also talked about going to learn about our foreparents, our children's grandparents, our own grandparents. Look at patterns, look at something to celebrate and come and share with our children. I always tell our children that, see, we are not on earth by mistake. There is a reason. Every family actually has a mission, and the mission is from one generation to another. We're built for a purpose. So go back in history and find out what is that thing. I'll give you a practical example. Someone like Fela, I've mentioned Fela in my previous video. Someone like Fela, if you read history, you will see Fela's mother, Fumilayo Ramsey Kuti. You will see Fela's mother. She was tough. She was the lioness of, I don't remember the place. She was tough. She was not giving up. Then Fela came and inherited that trait. Fela was stubborn. He was speaking against the government, the ills of the government, the same way the mother spoke against the ills of the government and made sure some things were put in place. Fela did the same thing. Now imagine if those people, they are to go back to their identity. Maybe it's Fela's promiscuity, following women up and down, that actually kind of broke that cycle. Imagine if he did not mix that family purpose with promiscuity. He probably would have been able to leave a strong legacy. His children will pick up and be generation to generation. That is it. So every family has a history. So one of the things we want to do to help shape our children's identity is to go back to history. Go back to your own parents. Have them go back to their parents. You go back to your grandparents, I meant to say. Have them go to their parents. Find out what is the pattern in our family. What is that one thing? I was asking because I couldn't get much about my own family the last time I had this conversation with my dad. Of course, my dad did not grow up much at home, so he knows little. But when I was asking my husband about this thing, I realized that one of the things, one pattern they have in their family is probably integrity. Talking about his grandfather, his own father, boldness. Yes, his father was kind of a man of integrity and bold. His father was a man of integrity and bold. That is definitely something I want to pass on to my children. So I want to sit down and define what it means to be bold, what it means to have integrity, and all of that. So every time I'm going to use it to remind them, you are the rebels. The rebels are supposed to be this. And it is not just, you are not just the one starting it. It's not just me because I'm saying it. It's actually from generation to generation. In your place, you were known. Your grandfather was known for this. Your own father, your great grandfather was known for this. Your grandfather was known for this. From generation to generation, it has been. So it is who you are. We use it. So family story, that's the very first thing you want to teach your children. Define what your family stands for. Everyone, as a visionary parent, you definitely know what our family stands for. And if you are not in the Visionary Parent Academy, you want to send a message on how you can join us for 2027. We are already open for registration. It's a community, a parenting community where everybody definitely needs to be. You are going to be empowered, you are going to learn, you are going to unlearn, you are going to grow in your parenting, you are going to be proud of yourself. So I was talking, define what your family stands for. Every family has to stand for something. In the Visionary Parent Academy, we have our values. We have our parenting constitution, our family constitution that actually captures our values, and our values are broken down into every single day. For example, I always say one of the things I do in my house is conflict resolution. We do not resolve conflict with violence. We don't hit, and even with our words, we are very, very mindful. We don't use insultive words. I tell my children that, see, you can criticize someone and destroy them in the process. You can criticize someone and empower them in the process. So it is the same thing, in the same words. So you're either giving constructive criticism or you are giving destructive criticism. In my home, we don't give destructive criticism. We don't pleasure in we don't rejoice when someone is sad. We don't rejoice when someone is unhappy. So we don't inflict pain on someone. We can always pass our message without necessarily inflicting pain on another. And definitely we know that we are not responsible for how people interpret things, on how they see things, but as much as we can, we do not inflict pain, whether verbally, whether with our hands or with anything. We do not inflict pain on another. Now, this is because I'm very big on peaceful, harmonious conflict resolution. That is what one of the things our family stands for. Our family stands for the fact that we are light. We are light. We are salt of the earth. We are light of the world. So we are always going to show our light. We are not afraid. We are bold to show our light. So your family must stand for something. And we'll talk about what your family stands for. We are not talking about having it in your head. Your family must be carried along. Your family must know that as a family, we stand for this thing. And it is because over time, you have consistently stood for this thing. In your structure as a family, in the atmosphere in your family, in your life, what you model, you stand for this thing. So your family will come to realize that this is what you stand for as a family. Number 3, let them experience identity. You cannot say you want to nurture a particular thing in your child and you are not letting them experience it. They say experience is the best teacher, right? Let me give you a practical example. I've shared this over and over again. You have parents who say, oh, mistakes are a part of us. Mistakes are a part of learning. You learn from our mistakes. Now, this is because we actually want our children to be able to learn from their mistakes. Yet, as parents, very many times, you do not allow your child to experience mistake because you don't allow them to put their hands and do. So if they don't put their hands and do, they are not going to experience mistake. So you are going to Allow your child experience things that will test their identity, that will shake their identity, so that it becomes a reference point. It becomes a teachable moment for you in your parenting. So you are going to always say manipulate the environment to stretch your child, manipulate the environment to tempt your child, manipulate the environment to shape your child's identity. Let them see you live it. That is the fifth one. You cannot nurture deep-rooted identity in your children without modeling it. You cannot be saying one thing and doing another thing. Doesn't work that way. You must model what you teach. You must model what you want to see. It is one of the ways to raise the children you want to raise. You must model, constant modeling, keep modeling, because your children are watching. So you have to live it. You want know the child of who you are. When you face temptation, who are you? Your children, they are watching. When you face failures, who are you? Your children, they are watching. When success happens, who are you? They are watching. When opportunities come, who are you? They are watching. When you have to make choices, who are you? They are watching. When conflicts come, who are you? They are watching. When it's making money time, who are you? They are watching. You cannot say one thing and do another thing. No, they are watching. 6, connect their choices to who they are. This is about the biggest thing you can do to nurture identities in your children. Connect their choices. When your child is making a choice, you have to help them. I was saying in the Visionary Parent Academy, since this challenge started, one of the things I've stopped doing is making it about me. For example, I go to my kitchen and my kitchen is messed up. I always tell my children that I don't like the look of this kitchen. I don't like when my kitchen is messed up. So no, it is no longer I, because it's not about me. It's about who they are becoming. So this is not you. Who are you becoming? Who are you? I'm a queen. A queen does not live in a messy kitchen. A queen does not live in a messy kitchen. You are smart. You want to be this and that tomorrow. To be this and that, you don't need this to live in a messy kitchen. It is their identity. So connect it. Your child takes something that does not belong to them. Who are you? No. This is not who you are. I give them story every day. Like when I read the story about the lecturer, I actually saw the video. I was telling my boys that, see, you see this lecturer, he never ever thought that one day he will meet his Waterloo. One day he will be embarrassed like this. Yes. And he did not start one day. He did not start asking for sexual favor from young children or undergraduates or girls when he became a lecturer. He has always learned not to discipline himself, not to be able to say no in the face of temptation. It is inability to say no in the face of temptation that actually brought him this far. So who are you? You are someone that when life tempts you tomorrow, you are going to be able to stand up bold and not be tempted by life and defeat life. So for you to do that, you have to start learning now. You have to start learning now. So when you are faced with temptation, what do? You are learning. You are learning. So today, you are going to learn. You are building. Every single day you build. So today you are going to add one brick. Today you are going to add one brick to the identity that you are building. And lastly, build a family identity that your child will be proud to carry. Build a family identity that your child will be proud to carry. Know the child of who you are. Who are you? I have a friend, one time he was telling me back then, his father would tell him, know the child of who you are. And in his mind, who is this one? Is this one not another civil servant? I better go, And, why he was upset then was that very many times people will bully him and he will go and meet his father and his father will tell him, I believe it for God. He felt that his father was not telling him to leave it for God because his father actually was such a God lover. His father was saying leave it for God because his father was like a coward. He couldn't fight. He couldn't defend himself. So as a parent, you must build an identity your child will be proud to carry. A student was telling me about another student in their school that was insulting his father. His father came to school, and his father came to school, and I think he was supposed to join his father, and he was just angry. He was talking rudely to his father, and he used some kind of insultive words. Everybody was like, why will you do a thing like that? At the end of the day, they investigated and found out that the father drinks. Sometimes he drinks and he forgets himself. He drinks and they'll have to carry him to the house. So the child was upset, like upset. So as a parent, you must build the identity your child will be proud to carry. You must. What are those values you want to see in your child? See them in you. You want to tell your child to be bold to say no to peer pressure? You be bold to say no to peer pressure. Come back and use it to teach your child. You want to teach your child, you want your child to carry an identity that when they see money, they are not jittering. Your child can identify opportunities. Your child can balance success. Your child will fail and say, okay, we move. We try again next time. Let them see it in you. It is what I always say in the Visionary Parent Academy. In my home, I tell my children, we don't complain. Nah, complain? No way. When things always go your way, things will not always go your way. What happens when things don't go your way? You don't sit down and start complaining. You don't sit down and start sulking. What do? Yes, you acknowledge the fact that, oh, things have happened. They are not going your way. What are you going to do after then? You stand up. You problem solve. That is it. And that is what I try to do. I do all the time. So when things are not going my way, I problem solve. My children sometimes, when I want to start complaining, they just come and say, okay, mommy, this. Just a couple of days ago, I was complaining about a particular thing in my kitchen. I've bought a couple of repellents, insects. I've bought a couple of repellents, it's not working. So I was just like, this thing I don't understand. And my son just came and said, mommy, I think these repellents we are buying, they don't work for this particular thing. So when we get another one, we'll look for them specifically to see what their function is before we go and buy. It made sense to me because I was just going to the market and I was just buying insecticide, normal one. I'll just buy the one I use for mosquitoes and cockroaches. I'll just buy them. And then he now told me that it's possible that this repellent, he was telling me that I've noticed that this kind of repellent, they don't work for spiders. So they don't work for spiders, so I understand why they may not be working. I never thought of that. Me, I was just complaining, what kind of insect is this? I've repelled them with insecticide, is not working. A problem solved for me. So that is it. So you must build an identity your children are proud to carry. It is super important. They are proud to carry the identity because of who you are, because of the way you carry it. They are also proud to carry it. So now this is brought to you by the Visionary Parents Academy. If you are not with us, you are missing a great deal. We do a lot in the academy. It's a vibrant, empowering, transformational academy where you will learn, unlearn, and you become a better version of your parenting self. So join us, send a message and ask how you can join, and we'll gladly tell you how you can join. Thank you so much for joining me today. See you next week, Tuesday. Bye-bye.